Well done. You've made it to the very end. This is the final and I think one of the most exciting parts of our training. In this section, I'm trying to give you tools and principles which you can use and apply to every proposal that you write. See, each donor is going to be slightly different, but most of them will require you to know yourself, be able to explain the context, be able to define your objectives, and develop the process of your project. Knowing yourself is the first thing we're going to look at today. It's important to demonstrate that you have the capacity to complete the project concept that you're proposing. Does that make sense? You need to demonstrate in that proposal that you write that you have the resources and the skills necessary. Let's stop for a moment. Why do you think you have to demonstrate this particular thing to the donor? Yes, that's right. You want to persuade the donor that you can deliver. It is also very helpful to demonstrate your track record to the donor. If you have completed projects like the one that you're aiming at right now, give them examples. This shows that you have the experience necessary to complete the project. You want to demonstrate that you know yourself and your organization well enough that you know that your project will get done and that your project concept will turn into a reality because it is well within your abilities. Knowing yourself demonstrates that you've carefully thought through and planned this particular proposal. You might think that that's obvious, that you need to plan and be thoughtful in your creating your project proposal. But honestly, in my experience, I've noticed that people have tried to put together proposals in like 20 minutes. Now, in knowing yourself, you'll also look back on the project concept that you developed, taking the relevant information out of that, extracting that out of the document. Remember, we're going back to the project concept we did. Who, what, when, and why. You're going to fit the project concept into the proposal using the system that's been developed called the COP system. C-O-P, the COP system. Now, before you start thinking I'm super smart because I came up with this COP system for proposal writing, no, it's someone far cleverer than me that came up with it. Context, objectives, and process. So COP stands for context, objectives, and process. By giving you the COP system of writing proposals, what I'm doing is I'm providing you with the tools that you can use for every proposal. Some donors may have slightly different requirements, but most will want to know the context around your project concept. So why is it important to present the context? Well, I think that sometimes what we do, honestly, is that we forget that as we focus on our project, we forget that donors have loads and loads of demands on their resources. They have to decide where best to put their resources. That means that your proposal needs to contextualize your project in such a way that it addresses and fits into the donor's focus area or mission. That's why we look at types of projects in our donor research. Remember the last section? Remember in our donor research, we were looking for donors who were a good fit for us. Also, these donors are far removed from our situation, so we need to contextualize. This is so that we can help them understand why supporting this proposal will help them fulfill their focus areas and mission. The context includes the country, region, and area. Details of all the relevant economic data, anything related to the context that helps the donor understand the place that your project fills in the wider society. Now take a look at this picture. What do you think it is? Look carefully. That's right, it's a motorbike. But you needed to see the whole picture. Remember, you couldn't see it at first, you just saw some sort of blurry picture. You need the whole picture to put that blurry picture into perspective. That's context for you. So that's the C. The C is for context. Now the O is for objective. Remember, we asked ourselves, what were we developing in our project development process? What specifically are we going to do? That's what we were asking ourselves, that particular question. That can be defined more broadly as the objective. As we write our proposal, we want to show that we've thought through and planned our objectives, why we're doing what we're doing. There really are just two types of objectives: general objectives and specific objectives. A general objective is the overall objective or goal. In other words, where we want to be at the end of the project. So the beneficiaries are here at the moment, and we want to move them to here. That's our goal, our objective. Specific objectives sometimes can be called the purpose. These are the little stepping stones that we use to get to the general objective or goal. A good objective usually states the following: what you want to achieve, your ends, and then secondly, how you want to achieve it, your means, and finally, who the main beneficiaries will be. Here are some examples of general objectives and specific objectives. Can you determine which ones are which? So in the COP system, context is the C, and objectives is the O. Now lastly, in your project proposal, you'll need to describe the process. That's the P in COP. Here we are drawing on our project concept development again, where we described what we will do and where we will do it and when we will do it. Do you remember those three things that we described? The 4 W's? In the process, we are describing a step-by-step journey that we will take to achieve the project objectives. A good description of a process normally asks these questions: what will we do, our actions? Where will we do it? And how will we do it? And who will be involved? Who are all the stakeholders involved in this process? And what outputs, what will be the end result of our intervention? And when we'll speak towards timing. When will these activities take place so that the outputs can happen? How will the process be monitored? This is sometimes called monitoring and evaluation. So how will we be checked through the process to make sure that we're on track? And how will the project be evaluated in the end? This again comes back to monitoring and evaluation. How are you going to measure the success of your project? That what you decided and set out to do, you actually did. Finally, what resources will you need to carry out the activities? Will you need vehicles? Will you need food? Will you need various clothing items. What things will you need? This will also form part of your budget. So we've come to the end of our course. And it's been such a wonderful journey to be with you doing this course together. We have provided you with some excellent principles and tools, such as knowing yourself, describing the context, setting general and specific objectives, and describing the process. It's been so exciting to be with you and to do this and be with you every step of the way. And my prayer is that you guys will just go forward with the most amazing proposals and raise tons of money for those people that you want to impact.